Welcome back, everybody, to the newest installment of Parleh Madness, powered by Duke's freshly crafted smoked meats. We are back with our Final Four edition. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, alongside my co-host, Jelani Reid. And we got just two matchups to get to. And boy, oh boy, I can't remember the last time we had two highly anticipated matchups that were this big. I'm talking about Villanova, Kansas, and then UNC taking on Duke. It's going to be an incredible Final Four. I'm coming in at 53%. I don't want to put you on the spot here, but Jelani, do you know your percentage coming in? I think it's higher than mine.
Yes. Yes. No, I actually did calculate it right before the show. I'm at 55%. So I'll take that. I got the lead on this one. But we got two really big games coming up here. So it could go either way in both of them. So let's get right to it, Luca. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get right into it. In the first one, we got Villanova. What a great run they've had all the way here to the Final Four, taking on Kansas, the lone number 1 seed to get to the Final Four. They are a 4-point favorite. Who do you got advancing to the finals?
Look, I know that Kansas is the number 1 seed. They're top 20 in, defensive efficiency, all that sort of thing. They got Abaji, they got McCormick, who are seniors that could lead the way for them and things of that nature. And also Christian Brown, I think he's a guy to really watch in this game offensively. But I got to go with the Villanova Wildcats. I think they're going to get it done. And I get it. Look, when you're watching their last matchup, guess what happened? They lost to Justin Moore. That's going to be a huge loss for them in terms of what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. He's such a good all-around threat for the Wildcats. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they respond without him. But I do believe in what they can provide, and that is, they're one of the best teams in terms of efficiency on both ends of the court. In terms of every team in the country knows that Villanova has one of the best offenses, and they have a really, really good defense. They actually haven't let anyone score more than 65 points in like their last 7 wins. So it's been a while since people have been able to really score points on this team. And when you're talking about Kansas, this is a squad that could get hot at any time. Remember, they went on a 47-15 run against Miami in that second half where they just took off, right? But I think just in this one, it's going to be really close. This is the Final Four. I don't expect either of these games really to be, huge margins, I should say,
Blowouts,
in
yeah.
terms of the score. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be any blowouts. I do believe that it will be close. So when you're watching this one, you got to say to yourself, who's the team that ends up winning the game? It would probably be Villanova. And why? Because this is a team that knows how to secure the basketball. They're better in terms of ball security. They're better at the free throw stripe. We know that they're on pace to be the best of all time, the best team ever in terms of Division I history from the free throw line. That's going to be huge, right? And you have guys that could hit the 3 ball. I know, when you're watching Villanova in this tournament, they haven't been as good in terms of their 3 ball, but I do expect it to show up at some point. You're obviously looking at Colin Gillespie, the back-to-back Big East Player of the Year. He's going to be the guy, of course, and they're going to need him, especially due to the lack of depth that they have in Justin Moore being out. But yeah, for me, I'm looking at the free throw line. I'm looking at the ball security in this one. Whoever commits less turnovers is going to be in a better position to win this game. And Villanova, out of all the teams in this tournament, you can make the argument they have been the best team in terms of closing games out, right? So for me, I'm just more comfortable going with them. I believe in Jay Wright. Lately, Villanova has been a mainstay in terms of college basketball, and in this spot, they've been in the Final Four multiple occasions over the last few years. And to me, when you're also looking at a few insights, guys, out there, if you're looking at Villanova, guys, they're 4-0 against the spread in March Madness so far. As for Kansas, they're 500 against the spread. And then when you're looking at the success rate in neutral site games, Villanova 72% against the spread in neutral site affairs this year at 8-3. So you got to look at them. They have enough to hang with a talented Kansas team. They're obviously talented, but I think that here the coaching will show up. I believe that Colin Gillespie will be that guy to really right the ship, settle everything down. He dictates the pace of every single game. And also watch for Jermaine Samuels. I think he's going to need to step up, especially without Justin Moore. But yeah, it's going to be a great game. Just they got to find a way to make Kansas turn the ball over, because Kansas is actually pretty poor in that area. They're 118th in terms of turnovers per possession. If you could steal the ball, if you could get it away from them, creating your opportunities, I think Villanova will be in a prime position to cover this number.
Yeah, look, you make a lot of great points, and I have been the one person this tournament that has constantly gone against Villanova, and it has not fared well. This has been a great team, not only winning those games, but covering the number, like you said. But for this particular outing, I'm going to go with Kansas. I'm going to go with the number 1 seed to make it on through. I'm going to lay the 4 points. You bring up great points about Villanova, being a strong team that closes out games and knows how to finish games. And also, what's going to scare me the most is their ability to hit free throws. 90% from the free throw line this tournament. So as soon as they get a lead and it's like 2-3 minutes left, they got it in the bag. Whereas Kansas only shooting at 67% from the line. So that's a huge discrepancy. So the Jayhawks are definitely going to have to shoot the ball better from the line, which could turn out to be ugly. But I do think Moore being out for the Wildcats is going to be a big loss for them. Kansas are going to be able to make adjustments, push the tempo early, really put a lot of pressure on Villanova. And what scares me too about the Wildcats here is they have not shot the 3 ball particularly well in their last 3 games. And Gillespie has to go off for them to have a chance. We've seen him put the team on his back, have great outings, but can he do it again against a Jayhawks defense that clamps down and they play their best basketball in the second half? Just take that last game, for example. I mean, Miami looked like they were going to come away with another upset win,
Right.
and then the Jayhawks completely shut them down en route to the convincing second half win. So the Jayhawks are going to rely on that championship-esque defense. I think they're going to be able to shoot the ball well here. It's going to come down to if they can make their free throw line shots. I think if they can hang with Villanova in that category, they will have a good chance of covering the spread. I agree with you. I think this will be a close one throughout. It's going to go down to the wire, but I expect Kansas and some of those playmakers on that team to just make 1 or 2 more plays. That does give them the advantage here. And also Kansas is 3-1 when they hit 70 points. So this is a high octane offense when they do get hot. And I expect them to do that against Villanova. But this is not going to be an easy task. Kansas, this will be their toughest challenge, and vice versa. But I will go with the Jayhawks, the number 1 seed, to prevail and move on to the national championship game on Monday.
Yeah, and just a quick note for those out there. Of the last 17 Final Fours, 16, okay, so 16 of the last 17 Final Fours, I should say. One of 2 favorites entering the Final Four went on to win it all, except for 2014. That was UConn's year. So look, usually we see the favorites win. So that, again, 16 of the last 17 Final Fours, one of 2 of the favorites in both matchups ended up winning in terms of the whole thing. So speaking of a favorite, we have Duke and we have North Carolina. Duke is favorite in this one here, Luca. And look, this is probably going to be a fantastic affair, because guess what? The first time that these 2 teams have ever met in the NCAA tournament. This is unthinkable, really, because you're looking at the rivalry, you're looking at all the history here. But this is the first time that the Tar Heels are ever going to play the Blue Devils in the tournament. So, Luca, give us your betting insights. Give us what you're really looking for, and what your pick is for this one.
Before we get to our biggest game of the tournament and arguably of March Madness of the last, 10, 15 years, I do want to once again announce that Parleh Madness is powered by Duke's freshly crafted smoked meats. Duke's products are freshly crafted with real ingredients, and they have been the proud sponsor of these segments throughout our March Madness coverage here on the Parleh. Yeah, this is every basketball fan's dream. College, whether you're a fan of just the NBA, like everybody's got to be invested in this matchup. Like this has the making of being truly a spectacle. And I can't remember the last time a March Madness game, a college game in general, had this much hype. You talk about the first time ever, rivals going at it. Coach K, his final season. Will this be his last game, or will his farewell tour continue on to Monday? It's been an incredible run. And look, I got to give your Tar Heels a lot of credit, man. Like, this is a team that After they won that first game, I'm like, this is a good team. It would not surprise me if they make a run. And I started to believe that they could get here when they did beat Baylor, knocking off that #1 seed. And I know they had a little bit of a shaky second half to that one, but that was a team that looked really, really impressive. The defense, the offense, I know they did make their mistakes, but just how they were able to respond in certain situations, it does not surprise me that UNC is in the spot. But Duke, they are just loaded with a plethora of playmakers, including my guy, Paolo Banchero. I mean, freshman forward. He's going to be a top 3 pick in the draft, I think. He's averaging 17.1 points, 7.7 rebounds per game. And, he leads this Duke offense that's averaging 80.1 points per game, which ranks 8th in the country. And Banchero, he did have another productive outing against Arkansas. Duke's offense has been flawless. And I know UNC has beaten Duke this season already. They know what it takes to spoil Coach K's magical run. But I just think this Duke team, they're committed, they're focused, their offense is playing really well. They know what's at stake here. They want to give their coach a Cinderella-type end to his historic coaching career. And you look at, again, Duke's offensive punch here. 4 of their starters scored in double figures in that win against the Razorbacks. So this is a well-balanced attack, and that's going to be key against a North Carolina team that ranks just 29th in scoring defense. And defensively, the Blue Devils enter Saturday Showdown averaging 5.7 blocks per game, which is the 9th best mark in college basketball. So I think that's going to be a huge deal here. Look for Duke to protect the middle, make a lot of North Carolina's attempts to the basket very difficult. And you look at Mark Williams, he's Duke's best rim protector. He's averaging 2.9 blocks per game alone. So I just think the experience of Coach K, the defense, Duke's offensive pedigree will carry them through to cover the 4. But this is going to be a great game. UNC is going to put up a fight. They always do. They don't put their head down. And look what they did to the darlings of this tournament, St. Peter's. They took them behind the shed and they blew them out. So this is not going to be easy for Duke, and they will have nothing better to knock out Coach K. So I'm expecting this to go down to the wire, but I just trust Duke's playmakers late to make the right play. So I'm going to actually lay with another favorite here. Give me Duke -4 to meet Kansas in the national championship game on Monday.
Man, oh man, this is a lot to deal with. Obviously, I'm a Tar Heels fan, so this is a big moment. This is a big moment. We've never met our rivals in the tournament, but yeah, you're looking at Duke, and they are winners of 8 of the last 9 Final Four games. When they get to the Final Four, they usually know how to win here, right? And Coach K, he's obviously now got the record for most Final Fours in history in terms of head coaches. This is his 13th time here. And when you're looking at the overall bracket and you're saying to yourself, who's the best, who's the team with the most talent? That's definitely Duke. You can't even deny it here. They have a 5-man attack that could hurt any team in the country. And even guys on the bench, that could really hurt you in terms of their shooting, in terms of their action. Right. And I'm looking at one guy in particular. I'm looking at Jeremy Roach. I think he's going to have a lot of say in this one, especially in terms of the guard play. It's going to be huge in this matchup going against the Tar Heels team with their guards. Jeremy Roach is going to have to do what he's done. He's been good, creating, good in terms of getting the ball in the bucket and really just being a guy that gives Coach K good minutes throughout the tournament so far. So yeah, when you're looking at Paolo Banchero, he's going to do what he does all the time. Wendell Moore Jr. We're talking about AJ Griffin, all these guys on their team. One of the things I would say, though, at times, Duke does lack defensive consistency. They're going to have to, remember who the Tar Heels are. They're going to have to play up to this game, in terms of the magnitude, in terms of everything going into it, because there are a few times during the season where Duke has overlooked their competition to the point where games have ended up being closer than they would have probably been, right? Yeah, so this one, they have to be ready because the Tar Heels are playing hot. And hey, I hate to say it, but I gotta go with the Tar Heels. I'm not being a homer here, but I'm looking at the 4, the number here, and I think that the Tar Heels can cover it. They're 8-2 against the spread against Duke in their last 10, and then when you're looking overall, they are 8-2 in their last 10 games. And they've covered against really good teams as of late in their last 10 games. Duke, Baylor, UCLA. These are teams that a lot of experts, a lot of people and fans did not believe the Tar Heels would even cover against or even be within the number or close to the number. But in order for my pick to go the way I'd want it to go, you're going to have to look at two guys in particular, in terms of the starting lineup. You're looking at Caleb Love and RJ Davis. One of two has to show up, okay?
Yeah.
Because if they both struggle out there, there's no chance for the Tar Heels. I know Armando Bacot is the guy. He's the best player on the team. He attacks the glass. He's a guy that will destroy you in terms of the pick and roll that Hubert Davis, always leans towards. But you're gonna need one of two guards, or obviously you want both of them to have a big day. But when you're looking at the Baylor game, it was RJ Davis. When you're looking at Caleb Love, he went off against UCLA. So you're gonna need one of those guys to really step up. And when you're talking about Duke and what they can provide offensively, we talked about it, Luca, and the talent that they have. The way in which the Tar Heels were able to beat them in Cameron Indoor was shooting from three. They shot nearly 40% from downtown when they beat Duke in Duke and really spoiled the final game of Coach K there at Cameron Indoor. That's what they're going to have to do here. I know it's a lot to ask, but the three ball has to show up. So I'm looking at Brady Manick. He's a guy that could get hot at any time and probably one of those two guards. But yeah, for me, I do believe that the pick and roll will be there. Hubert Davis likes it. I do think that Hubert Davis, he's really coached these guys up. Like you said, Luca, a lot of people didn't really look at the Tar Heels initially, but they have been one of the hotter teams in the tournament. And now Hubert Davis is the first coach since '98 to lead a team to the Final Four in his first year coaching. Wow. So this is going to be very interesting. And one last note, I'd just say, going back to Armando Bacot, a guy that could definitely get his own points. He's active, like I said, in the paint and getting to the glass. But the Mark Williams Armando Bacot matchup is going to be the difference. Whoever wins that matchup is going to probably win the game. Because when you're looking at the first game that the Tar Heels played against Duke in Carolina, at home at Chapel Hill, the Tar Heels had a bad day at the office, and it was because Armando Bacot, he didn't really have a nice game, right? And he was controlled by Duke's defense, and the rebounding struggle was, won by the Duke Blue Devils. And now when you're looking at the second meeting in Cameron Indoor, when Duke was hosting the Tar Heels, that's when Armando Bacot really showed us who he is, and being that guy, the menace of the Tar Heels. And that's why the Tar Heels really went in there and shocked everybody, because he controlled everything inside. So when I'm looking at this one, I'm going to say that Bacot does play up to that level again, where he can command everything and be that force that he really is inside. So yeah, I'm going to give the edge to the Tar Heels to cover here. We'll see what happens in terms of the money line. This game could go any type of way, because these games are so unpredictable with Duke and UNC. But yeah, I got to go with the Tar Heels here, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, this is shaping up to being one of the most highly anticipated Final Fours in recent memory, especially this final nightcap matchup. Everybody's going to be watching. It's going to be extra special for you, Jelani, I know, because you are a UNC fan. And yeah, we'll see what happens. That's a game that I'm definitely going to make a bet on, and I'm going Duke. Jelani's going UNC, so we'll see who has the bragging rights on Monday when we know the final two teams who will be squaring up with the national championship on the line as March Madness comes to an end. That will conclude today's show. Once again, Parleh Madness is powered by Duke's freshly crafted smoked meats. We want to thank you for listening and watching, and Jelani and I will be back at it again on Monday to make our national championship pick. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.